Hey guys, Ryan here, and I have another video for you. I'm going to be showing you guys the Force Link 2.0 from the Solo line TIE Fighter and the Vintage Collection TIE Fighter, letting you guys know what my initial thoughts of the two of them were, as well as comparing them and letting you guys know which one I think you should get. And without further ado, we're going to get started with the Vintage Collection TIE Fighter. And right off the bat, I want to say I have nothing against this TIE Fighter if it was labeled correctly, but I think that Hasbro is wrong in labeling it as a toy, since this is clearly a collector's item. Now, other vehicles in the Vintage Collection have successfully, been toys, but this one just fails. I think that the best example of this is going to have to be the wings, okay? So basically, I had mine on a shelf with nothing but my ATST, and I just walk into my room one day and it's on the floor. One of the wings, the mechanisms inside of the wings had broken, and it was just laying there. And as you can imagine, that was, pretty upsetting, because I had spent $80 on this. This is not something that you want to break. So, needless to say, Walmart, I kept my receipt, of course, because, when you make a purchase that large, you always keep your receipt, and Walmart replaced it with a brand new one, which was very kind of them. Also, the wings are made of a pretty hard plastic, so if I push that button and one of those hits the ground, I am a little nervous that that would break. Maybe some of you are more brave than me, and maybe it's fine, but it really just does not seem like a good idea. So, as a playset, no, I wouldn't recommend this thing. But if you're older and you're going to buy it as a collector's item, you're going to put it on your shelf. I apologize, some of these pictures, you'll see some dust and stuff, but it looks great in pictures. Almost any angle you get, like a shot on or whatever, it's going to look great. Now with this said, I'm going to move on to the Force Link TIE Fighter, and then we can wrap this video up. Speaking of Force Link,
Firmware update required. Firmware update required. Firmware update required. Firmware update required. Firmware update required.
Hasbro, I'm no longer asking, I am telling you. Stop it with the stupid wireless stuff, okay? What's wrong with pushing a button?
I got it working! My dad taught me about this.
It's wild gunman.
What is it?
I'll show you, kid. I'm a crack shot.
You have to use your hands? That's like a baby's toy.
Seriously though, Force Link aside, this is probably one of my favorite things Hasbro has released in a while. This also succeeds in being a toy where the Vintage Collection, failed. So, here you can see that we have the wings that pop off, but it's a new feature, it splits down the middle. Now, I wouldn't expect this from Vintage Collection, but, I just think that they should keep the two lines separate. You have a toy line, and then maybe you have some kind of collector line, kind of like the Ultimate Collector series by LEGO. This also adds some playability by being able to shoot these off instead of like on the Vintage Collection where you just pull this out, so that's pretty good. And even though this is not a collector's item and it's more of a toy, it still looks great. Like, this detail on the wing especially, it looks almost exactly the same. They did a really good job on this. The one place that I think this does not shine is probably the interior, where you don't really have like an actual seat. You have the back of a seat, but no like actual place for him to sit. And you know what? For 40 bucks, it's not all that bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not terrible. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of take a quick look at the figures. Not so much a comparison, just, little notes. Okay, so basically, you have the Vintage Collection on the right here, and on the left we have the Force Link. And I have to say, I think that if you're going for accuracy, definitely go with the Force Link. If you're going for, articulation, playability, that's actually where the Vintage Collection comes into place, which I think is pretty weird. They did get lazy though, and they kind of glued a belt over a pre-molded belt, which it doesn't look good. Also, I'm going to show you guys in just a second that under the helmet you could still see the Clone Trooper head. But I do think that, proportions and everything, this guy definitely has it. Whereas this guy, he kind of looks a little off, if you know what I mean. Know how to describe it other than his head just kind of looks squishy. Like, it just looks weird. I don't know. I think Force Link is definitely better. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. The point of this whole video. Which one do I think you guys should buy? If I'm honest, Vintage Collection, it's real cool. It looks nice if you're a collector. But I'd much rather spend the $80 on 2 of these rather than 1 of these. So, yeah, I think that's where I stand. I think that, the Force Link, if they're gonna keep making ships this good, and, they're getting better from when they first started with The Last Jedi and stuff like that, that's good. These are your playsets. And I would very much like to see the Vintage Collection, or more, not the Vintage Collection, but a very similar thing, similar line, where they make high-quality ships for collectors. So, obviously, it's up to you what you guys buy, and, it all depends, I think, really on your age and how much money you have. If you save up your money, like, you're a kid or whatever, you save up your money, you have your heart set on the Vintage Collection, get the Vintage Collection. It's cool, But if you need, to save your money, there's no problem with the Force Link. So, guys, that's where I'm going to end it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys again in the next video.